We've been studying and working on Third Adam 3, the extended cut, and it's going to be pretty wild. We've got so much material to go through, and I hope that you guys are looking forward to that. And go ahead and have this channel subscribed to and have the bell notifications on, and we will let you know in the very near future when that will premiere. But if, for those of you who have seen Third Adam 3, you know that there is a disorder, there's a dysfunction, there's a destruction, there's a abandonment of God's order of men leading and women working with their husband and following their husband and raising the kids, and what many people would call traditional gender roles. There's an abandonment of that. And there's a raising to equality where women want to be equal with men, and really it's a farce is what it is, and it's a cultic. It's a lie from Satan is what it is. Women are just as valuable as men; they just are made different. And so when women try to be men, then they force men to be women. And then you have an entire androgyny effect going on in society where women lead and men follow, and then men, just become girly. And a lot of occultic men are very effeminate. They're very androgynous. And a lot of occultic women are, these butch, strong-willed, just tough, mean, nasty things. And that's not how God made any of us to be as far as what we are as men and women. So we're studying this and looking at this, and an article comes across my desk just from a current event that's going on in Afghanistan right now. And, basically from all the things that I'm gathering and looking at this myself, Joe Biden has handed over a list to the Taliban of people who are American citizens who are in Afghanistan, people who have helped the American forces. And a lot of experts over there have said that basically Joe Biden just handed the Taliban a list of who to kill. And it's the whole thing is a debacle. The whole thing is a disaster, and even the New York Times is giving Joe Biden a fit over this, and his rating is so low. But this article came across my way. Okay, Hillary Clinton is actually organizing private charter flights going into Afghanistan to rescue these people from being killed from the Taliban. While the American military under Joe Biden's leadership are evacuating the country in such a disorganized, disheveled manner, logistics are just everywhere, and they're just like they don't even know what to do. Like the Afghani army and air force and commanders over there, they're just like kind of had the rug pulled out from underneath them, and then they buckled when the Taliban came through. But Hillary Clinton is actually taking the initiative and leading private chartered planes into the country to rescue kids from the Taliban. I don't even know what planet I live on anymore. This is so bizarre what's happening. But this is an article from the independent.co.uk. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who previously warned of the huge consequences of withdrawing U.S. troops from Afghanistan, of course she was, she's a warmonger, has now reportedly attempted to charter flights out of the country for the country's at-risk women. Hillary Clinton and her team have been trying to aid potential Taliban targets in leaving the country, which swiftly fell to the militant group in mid-August following the U.S. withdrawal from the troops. As the Taliban took over the country's major cities, dramatic scenes saw thousands of people surrounding Kabul airports in an attempt to escape life under the group's rules. And by the way, I believe there's a reporting of an ISIS attack that killed some American Marines and other people, a bombing and things like that. Just really, the chaos has started in Afghanistan. But the point is here in this video that I want to point out to you guys is that we have a situation where the man who is at the head is he's not being aggressive. He's kind of just buckling in a sense, if you will. And I'm not trying to get into the politics of this. What I'm trying to do is talk about the spirituality of this. The man in charge is weak, and there's wicked women like Hillary Clinton that are stepping up and getting things done, doing something. The men are weak, and the women are strong, if I could put it that way. Guys, this is the rise of the divine feminine. This is exactly what you're seeing. Now, in 3 Adam 3 extended cut, we're going to deal with Isaiah chapter 3. And I think it's funny how all the threes line up there. It's just strange how that works. But one of the greatest judgments of God upon a nation is not necessarily economic or even a famine or pestilence, anything like that. One of the greatest judgments of God upon a nation is that God removes men and lets you have it. And when men become weak that is a signal, that is a symptom of a judgment of God upon a nation. The Bible says in Isaiah 3, verse number 2, the mighty man, let's just go verse 1. For behold, the Lord of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. And notice this, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50 and the honorable man, and the counselor and the cunning artificer and eloquent orator. And just it says here, give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And there's so much here. I actually just preached a whole message on this entire chapter. Just wild stuff. Verse number 12, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. This is the judgment of God upon a wicked nation. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. And even says here he's going to judge the politics of the day. He said, the Lord will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people and the princes thereof, for you've eaten up the vineyard, and the spoil of the poor is in your houses. And so there's so many things here. But what happens is that when men become weak, and God removes the mighty man, in verse number 2, the man of war, God removes men with conviction and men who are honorable from a society. Even it says right here, the honorable man in verse number 3. When this happens, when God takes these people out of the equation, then wicked women run the show. Wicked women lead. And it even says here, there's several things. We can go down the chapter here. It says here, therefore, it says that the women, in verse number 16, moreover the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. And it talks about, in verse number 18, in that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calls and their round tires like, do you notice this right here? Like the moon. Does that sound familiar to you? You know, the sun and the moon and the occult, the masculine and feminine, the moon. This was a culture that was heavily influenced with paganism and Babylonian mystical religions. This is the divine feminine happening. And one of the judgments of God upon a nation is that God removes strong men from the equation. And that's why the New Testament church has to be led by men, has to be led by a man, a pastor. And he has to have some conviction, and that's the job of the man. That's what God put him in that position for, to be a man of conviction and say, this is how it is. This is what God said. I'm sorry, but we're not budging. This is what God said. And so somebody's got to have some conviction somewhere. Somebody's got to have some conviction along the way. And as we look here that, you know, the Lord's going to make these women who walk around haughty and make them ugly, and verse 21, the rings and nose jewels, changeable suits of apparel, mantles, wimples, and crisping pins. And there's just so much. There just really is so much here. And thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. God's removing the men. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Guys, the rise of the divine feminine has happened right before your very eyes. I'm not a politician. And this channel's not political. But I think when a man has convictions that are Bible-based and he is a strong leader, a nation does better. A lot better. And we can say what we want to about Joe Biden's health and whatever like that. And that's fine. I personally think that Joe Biden is not the same man that he was before his son Beau died. I'm compassionate towards the man. I personally don't think he was a good fit for president of the United States. I think a bunch of people on the left just reacted to mean tweets and just the extreme personality of Donald Trump, and so they were willing to destroy the country just to get rid of that guy. And that's just how the leftist mind thinks. But guys, I want to tell you right now, the divine feminine is rising in the world, and it is paving the way for a one world leader to come. Third Adam 3 is coming. We're going to have it out there soon. So pay attention. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. If you haven't watched Third Adam, go watch that. That thing will change your life and be a blessing to you. I know it will. And I want to just show you real quick where it's at here on our channel and pull it up for you. Just go check that out there on the home tab on our channel. You can see the Third Adam series right here. Third Adam 1, Third Adam 2, Third Adam 3 Rise of the Divine Feminine. Go watch that one right now. Probably be a good time to watch it this weekend. We just put chapters on it, so that's going to be good. And so go watch this series. Go get caught up to speed, and that stuff will help you. So God bless you, friend, and we will see you very soon.